Hello and welcome to SideQuest episode number 88. It's the first SideQuest of April. Happy Easter. Did a big
Happy
giant.
Easter.
I don't feel sufficiently welcomed. Can you try that again?
Welcome to the podcast. Hey, bro. Welcome to the show. Hope you're doing well.
You're doing all right.
It's not doing it. No.
Are you
No
feeling
sports. No sports babies today.
on a scale
Not
of
getting there.
8 to 12? How delicious do you feel right now?
Feeling delicious could be, just a sign of self-confidence. You look in the mirror, you're like, "Ooh, I feel delicious today."
I am wearing my good Crocs today.
There it is. After an Easter feast, not that you celebrate or whatever. Did a large deranged bunny visit you guys yesterday?
No, I got a text message from my wife about 3 p.m. saying, "Oh shit, it's Easter. I forgot." Well, that's news to me.
The thing with Easter that I recognize is I do groceries on Amazon Fresh, and they have a bunch of chocolate they don't normally have because it's Easter.
Okay.
So that's what I was excited about.
Yeah, it does kind of open. It's two things. They open up more chocolate, but then there's a whole bunch of weird Peeps stuff going on. Like, what's up with the Peeps propaganda?
Those are like the
Propaganda.
chicken marshmallow things, right?
Yeah, Peeps. They go peep peep peep.
Peepergate.
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 Started it up.
You heard it here first. SideQuest number 88.
Down.
Peepergate.
They're anti-Christian or something, probably. Easter,
Are they trying to take down
Satanic influence of the
Satanic
marshmallow-shaped chickens. Little Nas X is the signature is all over this.
Yeah.
He's the source of the Peeps.
He's the peeper master.
Oh my gosh, that is absolutely silly. Have you ever had a Peeps?
Guys, yes, they're terrible. Like they
No,
are
I haven't.
possibly the worst junk food you can possibly eat. It is awful. That yellow sugar that they put all over it is
Chemicals.
ridiculous. I don't think it should be eaten. Like I think it's like sparkles that like strippers spray on themselves before they hit the stage.
Stripper sparkle.
I think
on
it's
Peeps?
the same.
This is going good.
The
Keep going.
plot
This conspiracy
thickens.
theory is taking.
This is a whole nother chapter right here.
I'm not a big marshmallow fan to begin with, but like dried up old marshmallow is especially not enticing.
Yeah, that's definitely on pretty much the bottom of any kind of sugary treat. Next to maybe I should just eat a banana.
Yeah, bananas are good. I've only recently discovered the art of opening a banana from the other side. I've always been like a stem peeler instead of a bottom pincher.
I've never done a
And
bottom pinch.
I've never done that.
I've started the bottom pinch, and it really is the easier way to open a banana.
Is
It
that-
really is.
Is that how monkeys open it? Because I trust that.
It is.
Oh,
Yes,
wow,
it is how
okay.
They've
the
acquired the
apes
skill
of
long
the
ago.
forest. Yeah, you kind of pinch it and pull it apart, and it opens much easier. You know how like sometimes you try and grab the stem and like bend it to like, but then it kind of just like smushes the top of the banana a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It can sometimes get out of control.
Sometimes the
It
stem
really
is a little
is.
too firm.
It is space age technology, but it was invented by our ancestors, the apes.
Thank you, apes.
You know, if you believe in that.
Well,
Have you built?
pretty sure it originated in Skull Island, and that's why King Kong is the king.
Did you guys watch that movie?
Yes.
I haven't yet. I'm waiting for a pizza weekend.
Pizza Weekend with
Weekend
it's
with
a
Kong.
Godzilla
pizza
versus
movie.
King Kong.
It's a pizza movie.
It is.
It
It's
is,
definitely
man.
a pizza movie. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too. It's stupid, but it's Godzilla versus King Kong.
It's
What do you
incredibly
expect?
stupid. Yeah.
We're not coming here for Shakespearean drama.
I think visually it probably would have been stunning in the theaters. I mean, I think you
Yeah.
can see it in the theaters right now if you want to, but like, yeah, it's one of those movies. It visually, it's like, wow, this looks really freaking good, and all the fights and all that. Like, it was fun. I liked it.
Like the payoff is really good at the end, right? It's like you get what you're hoping for, and it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Any time there is an actual human being on the screen, though, like basically just start scrolling Twitter or Reddit or whatever.
That's the thing I've heard a lot. They were like, if we got rid of all the people, then this movie would be significantly better. That's what I've heard.
That's true with all of this series of films, though. Like Godzilla, King of Monsters, like all of them have been like that. It's like, it's fun when they're showing Godzilla. It's so dumb though when they have to like squeeze a plot into this somehow.
They're literally just the glue. You know, it's like there's got to be some reason why Kong and Godzilla are going at it, right? So
I think somebody's eating the paste, Tefty.
It's quite possible, but even then, someone's got to be eating the paste for those monsters to be like, "We got some beef, all right."
Yeah. I mean, I think that if you naturally put a gorilla-sized lizard and a gorilla into a cage, they're gonna fight it out. Like somebody's going down.
True.
And we don't need a plot. It's just they're mortal enemies.
Apex predators, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody's getting fucked up. Let's watch it happen.
And that was very good, the way they portrayed that.
Yeah.
It was really well done.
And like there's kind of like a surprise kind of, I don't want to ruin it for anybody who is really interested in the lore.
Care Bears show up, they join up and have their stomachs shoot out beams to help
the Beamers. They've been
Care
on
Bears
the
stomach
Beamers. They show up in BMWs.
Guys, Outriders came out.
Care Bear care.
Outriders came out. Monster Hunter Rise stuff. We got a lot to talk about.
Where are you in your journey with Rise, Mr. Tuff?
HR 6, I think. High rank 6.
Okay, you're almost there.
Yeah, I haven't finished it yet. Outriders has been taking up that additional time. It's tough juggling two games that there's grind.
It is big grind too.
And I'm not even talking about Destiny.
It was made easier by every time I wanted to stream, the servers died. So
yes,
that was an issue. I was watching your like kind of Twitter progress with Outriders, and every time you're about to stream, you're like, "Well, more Monster Hunter."
It was clockwork. I would be like, "Okay, I'm going to stream. There we go. I made sure it worked. We're good. I logged in. I'm in the game. We're good. Everything's great." And then we'll play for maybe 15 minutes, get kicked out, can't get back in. I'll sit there for a while. I'll wait because sometimes it's a blip. Sometimes it's like a full crash and you never know which one it is. And then I'm just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And then I'm like, you know what? It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
I wanted to actually stream Outriders over the weekend, but with the server issues, I was like, I might as well just play a bit here and there when I can, because there was a couple times like I had beaten a boss, or you know those hunts that you can do, the side mission hunts?
Yeah.
This was a ball buster because I'm playing like I'm not willing to drop the world tier, and I'm like 5 levels under almost all the time. And this thing was kicking my ass. I finally beat it. All right. Picked up the loot, and all of a sudden it was like disconnected. I'm like, disconnected? Well,
wait,
surely
did you lose the loot?
I lost the loot and I lost the progress saying that I beat it.
No.
And I was like, are you kidding me? I just spent 30 minutes killing that guy. And it was hard.
That's heartbreaking.
The servers have been rough, and I feel bad for People Can Fly because they came out and said, you know, Square's in control of the servers, so we're kind of bummed too because we made this game we're really proud of, and the servers are getting their ass kicked.
Yeah, aside from
Balan
the
Wonderworld came out, so Square is really focused on that, so they just don't have time for Outriders. You guys still don't know what Balan Wonderworld is.
No, I do. I looked it up last week. It looks cool. It's the final game of the guy. I forgot his name.
Yeah.
Or the new game.
Aside from the server issues, which I didn't want to deal with because, you know, as a Destiny veteran, I'm well aware of launch window issues. You know? So this,
I'm like, take your time.
I'm like, okay, I get it. This is happening. I got other things I can do. It's fine. You know, I just won't stream it right now. That's fine. Aside from that, I've actually really been enjoying Outriders. Yeah.
It's a game. It's why I say when people are like, "Oh, is it like Destiny? Is it Division? Is this? I'm like, it's Diablo with guns, pretty much. Because I'm not playing necessarily for the gameplay. The gameplay is fun enough to keep me engaged and enjoying it, but I'm playing for the loot and for the builds. That's the reason that I'm playing this game.
Yeah.
And that's what keeps me coming back. You know, something drops and you're like, oh, it's a purple. Yeah, finally we got the purples going. And there'll be, even if you don't need that piece of gear or the piece of gear isn't as good as the gear you have, you can, maybe it has a mod that you haven't gotten before, so you can delete it and then you get that mod to use on anything that you want, and it's very easy and pretty cheap to just switch your mods around. So they
cool.
get you they get you involved with the loot and the building stuff of builds very fast. Very fast.
Immediately from the get-go you're like, oh, there is build potential here, like right away. You're like, okay, cool, so I'm going to be paying attention to this, looking at the moves. You'll get a piece of gear that drops that enhances some sort of ability. You're like, I'm not using that ability. Maybe I should switch that ability. Take a look. And some stuff is pretty game changer, you know, for like survivability or staggering, you know, things. I had a anomaly like enhancement mod that happens, and it was on an assault rifle that was pretty low level, and that was still doing a lot of power because of the anomaly power up. And the fusion mod that I had on there, it just happened to keep like synergized so well that it was like almost 10 levels under, and it was still doing fantastic damage to enemies. And that's because of the mod synergy in there.
Yeah, mods are super important. And you have to go back to the camp to change your mods out. But I would say it's pretty worth going back to camp almost after you do anything, because you'll normally get a piece of gear. It'll drop a mod. It will be higher level, so you want to use that. But the mod is useless for what you're doing, or you can't make a build around it right now. So you will quickly find that if you don't go back to camp and swap out mods, you will be struggling, because it's definitely, if you have the right mods going on your guns and your armor, you're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Even if you're under level.
Yeah, the healing ones are really, really nice.
Yes. Like, Shield Maiden and like ones where shots heal you. Very nice.
That stuff has saved me quite a bit, because the difficulty ramps up pretty significantly if you're not lowering. So you have the option of automatically increasing world tier or lowering it and not having as much difficulty. I've been letting it automatically increase, and I haven't lowered it. And like I said, there's times where it's a struggle. But I'll look at my inventory and I'll be like, oh, this thing does this and that, and I'll switch out some stuff, change up some abilities, and then I'll find that I can eventually do it. And that's been really satisfying to overcome some of these challenges with that process.
Yeah.
I haven't picked this game up yet. I've only played the demo is that last month that the demo came out? February. One of my big concerns about the game, there was two big concerns I had with the game coming out. One was the story, which the story in the demo, it didn't make any sense. It really felt pretty not great. And also graphically, it just, the joke was that it looks like an Xbox 360 game. But I've seen people posting that the game actually looks better now. Is that true? And how's the story working out?
So when I first loaded it up on PS5, I think I did go, oh, this looks better than the demo. It's almost like I was playing a PS4 version in the demo, and I'm playing the PS5 version on release. That's how it felt. I was like, I don't know what that's about, but it looks beautiful, so I'm down. I think it looks really good on the PS5.
Yeah, I think they must have tweaked something a little bit for the PS5. That being said, it's not like a graphically it's not a graphic powerhouse by any means. The comparison to Diablo is actually really appropriate, because Diablo isn't a graphical powerhouse either. It does just enough to get you like the essence of what you're doing. And I get that vibe 100% across the board. Like, the environments are not especially beautiful, but they have enough differences to warrant the, like, this is still interesting going through, you know? So like, you look at Destiny is a gorgeous environment. Like, they spent time on those environmental details, and it shows. This game, they definitely kind of felt like they got enough of a quality in there that were like, yeah, that looks good enough. That works, right? And then cool. That's how they went with it. The cutscenes as well, like visually, it's like it's good enough, but it definitely has areas where it's rough.
The cutscenes, sometimes, you know, when you go to eliminate one of the wanted targets and the camera just goes, Mario. I'm like, where are you going? What are you doing?
Yes.
What is this camera?
There's some jank in there.
Yeah. Is it still look like it's
Oh.
like kind of like a hand cam
So they
where it's like
actually
jumping around? And...
they added an option to reduce the camera kind of swaying in the cutscenes. So you can turn it
Good.
down if you like it a little bit, or you can turn it like all the way down to where it's essentially not there anymore.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Good.
like I don't know if they do it for a brand new account where they have it completely turned down, but I didn't know about this, and so yeah, I was playing and the cutscenes were really rough. And then I think you mentioned in chat, you're like, "Hey, you can turn that down in the menus or something." I was like, "What?" And then looked, turned it down. I was like, "Why is this not enabled immediately?"
Should be the default.
Who wants the disgusting shaky cam? Oh my god.
Oh, when I saw you watch the same cutscene that I just watched before ending stream, so it was like almost back to back me seeing them. I was like, Jesus, this looks very different. This is woo.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I really hope the new players have that turned on immediately, because I think a lot of people would be like, "What the crap?"
Yeah, and they're not going to think there's an option
No.
for changing cutscene shake.
Yeah, it's like buried all the way at the bottom too. Like,
Yeah.
you're not going to go and search for that. Story wise, I mean, Godzilla versus King Kong.
The story is, I would say it's so bad that it's good. There are moments that intrigue me of the story. There are moments that genuinely I'm like, okay, this is interesting just because it's an interesting story point. But a lot of the main character, the way that, especially the female voice actress at least, it's very just like, well, goddamn, that was crazy. So someone gets their head blasted off and they're like, whew, all right.
Super matter of
bye.
fact. Yeah.
It is. And I kind of love that because it's very like how we are reacting playing the game, being like, whoa, that was crazy. When you'd expect the character to be like, oh my God, that was, I'm traumatized. But she's just like, oh man. And I kind of like that. It makes me laugh a lot.
That is
It's
somewhat
like,
appealing. A lot of stuff, the characters will get so, they'll internalize like the trauma, what they're seeing so much. It's not that you wouldn't internalize the trauma what you're seeing. It's just that I've seen characters do this so frequently in so many pieces of media lately. It's kind of like the alcoholic. I'm just sick of seeing alcoholics on screen all the time and their struggle going through it. It's not that I don't care about alcoholics or I don't feel for their struggle. It's just that I've seen too many movies and TV shows like at this that it's very hard to get like a new viewpoint of it. So like watching people in that situation can be the same way.
So yeah, there was a side quest where you're helping someone. I don't know why I was helping them or what I was doing, but I came to this building and there was a cutscene of a couple who were arguing, and the dialogue was just hilarious. We were all sitting there cracking up because it's like, well, screw me, guess I'll just leave then. Why don't you just leave? And it was just so corny and cheesy, and it was at least this scene was written to be comedic. Like it had to be. I'm pretty sure they know what they're doing based on the way the devs are on Twitter. Like they're very matter of fact, very straight to the point, and very sometimes very silly in their communications. So the game kind of captures that vibe perfectly, actually.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. They are fully aware. I've seen this sentiment a few times on this, that the game is fully aware of what it's trying to be. It's not trying to convince you to blend all these different genres together, something like that. It's like, it is a Diablo-esque looter, and the story is there to move you from point A to point B. You may like it, you may not. It doesn't matter. Then they're aware of that it just doesn't matter. You're shooting stuff, you're making builds, and there's this weird environment with aliens and stuff. Cool. Like I 100% get that vibe from it, and I appreciate it because sometimes I'm paying attention. I'm like, oh yeah, and then other times I'd be like, this character is super annoying. Jesus, I hope they die with a quick bullet. Yeah,
Oh, everyone dies in this.
Yeah,
game.
it seems that way, right?
It's very bleak. It's very dark, and the humor kind of offsets it, which is nice.
True. Yeah. There's also a lot of side quests in the game.
Yes.
Yeah, I have only been.
Are they interesting?
I really like the hunt ones, where you go and hunt a wanted person or a wanted beast. I really like those. It's kind of like you're picking up a bounty and going to collect the head of the bounty. I like those a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Big fan of those.
Yeah, all the side quests seem to be pretty rewarding. So if you do side quests, the game respects your time in that sense. But it's more of the same of what you're experiencing in the game. So if you're already enjoying the game, like the more side quests are great. It's like, oh, cool, I'll level up, get some loot, something like that. If the game is a slog for you right now, the side quests aren't going to help. They're not going to have a revelation of why the game's great or something. Like that's not going to change things, you know.
It's essentially like if having good loot and interesting loot and making builds is enough to kind of carry you through a game, then you'll probably like Outriders, because I think they've done that really well. The gameplay, like the guns don't feel bad, you know, they don't feel terrible. It's just not the highlight of the. It's good enough. Yeah, it's good enough.
Seriously, it's
like the rest of the game. Cool. When I'm playing it, I'm like, this is kind of fun. You know, I do cool stuff. I see bones, people explode in slow motion. That's cool.
The GIF effects are pretty hilarious.
They are. They're
over the top at times. You like eviscerate someone with a shotgun, or you got the exploding bones perk on there, and they just.
And you see a head just go rolling. You're like, oh well, there's his head.
Oh, red mist. Give. Yeah. I've been enjoying it. I think it's fun.
I have too. Yeah. It's doing really well. It's doing very, very well. And I think a lot of people thought, oh, it's probably because Game Pass, right? You know, people can just play it day one and not invest anything in it. Steam is having crazy numbers.
Yeah, they've broke the records for like it. They've had more concurrence at any given time than Borderlands 2, which I believe held the record for that genre.
Yeah,
over 130,000.
Didn't that release on the Epic Store?
No, Borderlands 2.
No, Borderlands 2. Yeah.
Okay.
Borderlands 2 is on. You're thinking Borderlands 3. Borderlands 2, 120 something thousand at peak, highest all time, and it broke that. So kind of surprising.
I did prefer the demo on PC. Like if I'm gonna play this, I am gonna play it on PC because I thought the gunplay was better with a mouse and keyboard.
I can see that
in my hands.
There's a lot of times the recoil and the aim assist is really annoying with the controller. Like there's one gun, it will constantly pull you up, and there is no amount of holding forward or down or whatever to compensate. It like literally is like, no, it's going to go up forever. And it's like,
there's also ones that pull you down, and you're like trying to pull up to get a headshot, and it's like, nope. So the only way that you can reset it to go to the headshot is to just
stop firing.
Reset it and just stop firing.
Really?
Yeah.
So with a lot of guns, the way that I play now is I'll ADS for a little bit and shoot them, and then I'll un-ADS and then ADS again to try and keep aiming where I want to aim.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's not bad, but it's not great. It's not.
Yeah,
it's not Destiny level. Division is definitely better in terms of the gun shooting mechanics and all that. So you gotta like keep that in mind going into it. But if you're into the builds at all, if you're into seeing those perks, another thing they do really good with the perks in the build stuff is that they show really good visual feedback of it working. Like,
yes.
Yeah, this is another thing that I think a lot of game companies kind of forget, or maybe not forget, but like they maybe didn't have the budget to implement all the variations that can happen with these perks interacting with each other. And they seem to have that happening in this game. So when freeze is being applied, it's very evident they're getting frozen, and you're taking advantage of that. And then ashen and flames and all that stuff. Like, it's really great. Like they did a good job of that feedback visually to make you feel like, oh, this build is synergizing. I like it.
Yeah.
I haven't picked this one up yet. I haven't been able to decide because everybody who loves the loot games is high on this, but I'm not generally like, loot isn't enough usually to keep me playing a game. Usually the loot is what I like while I'm progressing towards some sort of goal, like, you know, to kill the big bad guy. So I want to be as powerful as possible, or, you know, like an RPG, like the loot is there because I need it to kill the end boss in an RPG. Whereas this game seems to be just about the loot. And I don't know if that's enough for me.
Well, that's the Diablo perspective. In Diablo, you get more loot to see bigger numbers and wipe out enemies faster. And then you get better loot, and then you do that again because you see bigger numbers and more enemies getting wiped out as fast as possible. And that's...
So I've always played Diablo until I killed Diablo.
Oh, really? Whoa.
Yeah.
That's like the tutorial.
It's like playing Destiny's campaign and going, all right, that was great.
Finished. Yes.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, but the difference with Destiny is there's a rate, right? That's what kept me going, right? It's like, that's even 6 years in, that's when I stopped caring about numbers in Destiny, is I've beaten the raid. I no longer care about what my light level is. You know, like I just don't care because I've beaten the hardest thing, so that must be good enough.
Well, also in Destiny, even though they'll give you a bigger number for higher level stuff, you're still getting basically the same or roughly the same amount of bullets to kill the same enemies, you know?
Yeah.
So it never really feels like that climb, that delta being overcome from a higher level or better stats on guns and stuff. Whereas in the Diablo sense, you definitely can eviscerate enemies at a certain point. Like you are just walking death through everything that's on the field.
Yeah. Yeah. It's and the numbers are very, very obvious. And there's definitely a thing. There's a pleasure sensor in humans' brains. They're like, oh, number went up, nice, and it feels good. You're like, oh, that thing that I built must be doing good because, like, say for example, you do more damage to targets that are inflicted by bleed. So you put a mod on your gun that inflicts bleed, and you're like, wow, They've definitely show you those increase in numbers very obviously, and that feels good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of those things that really, like, if you've played Diablo and you're into that type of thing, seeing those things work, then it triggers that pleasure sensor very fast. And that's why I think a lot of people have been like, oh, okay, more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's all the loot, man.
Yeah. But I will say it's surprising to see how well recepted it's been so far.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought it was
by the Destiny community in particular, like people are into this.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Like congrats to the developers on that. Like that's awesome. But I'll be honest, I did not expect that at all. I thought it was going to be very
I didn't
niche.
expect it at all. Yeah, I saw it come into Game Pass. I was like, okay, so a good amount of people will be made aware of it because of Game Pass. But then seeing how popular it is on Steam, which is a full price game, so there's people who are paying full price for this game. They think it's worth their money, and they're sticking with it because its concurrent players are sticking up there in the numbers. So.
Yeah.
They've done something right. I think a lot of it for me comes down to I get to experience the loot system very early, and it's very exciting very early. They introduce you to mods very early, which enables you to make builds immediately. Whereas a lot of these games, you're kind of just leveling up using whatever, and you can get away with that, and then you start doing all the cool stuff. This is not like that, and it's very cheap to change your mods around. So you can make builds right away, and the game will actually punish you pretty hard if you don't make a build. Yeah. So I love that.
A lot of times these games will also make you won't lean into those mechanics until you've gotten pretty significantly into the campaign or beaten the campaign, and then it's time to start making builds or something. And it's really nice that they basically were like, this is happening right away. You're getting builds in the building leveling up skill tree type of stuff right away from the get-go.
Yeah, I love that because there's so many games where I finish the campaign and I get this cool thing and I'm like, man, I wish I could have played with that through the campaign.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I'm enjoying it. I haven't maxed out my level yet because I didn't play a whole lot over the weekend because of the server issues and I didn't want to be frustrated. But yeah, I think I'm like level 25 or something like that at the moment.
I'm around the same. I'm like 24 or something like that. So yeah, I've played an okay amount, but I've definitely felt like my playtime has been interrupted. So I've never felt like I've been able to just get stuck in and stick with the game for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. I'm always getting interrupted. So I'm excited. The servers seem to be stabilizing. So I'm hoping to have some of those moments soon.
Nice. What do you think, Briar? You gonna pick it up or no? Of course, you got Game Pass.
I don't know.
You can play on the Series X.
Yeah, I wish it was on the PC on Game Pass because it'd be a no-brainer to at least play a few hours of it and see if it starts sticking with me. But even then, I feel like this is a game that it doesn't start clicking until you really get into the loot, right? And at what point does that start happening? Is it 4 hours in, 5 hours in?
Pretty soon.
As soon as you start,
it didn't click on the game on the demo for me. Like,
Yeah.
This game just didn't click for me in the demo.
Mm.
That's why I've been so hesitant to start playing it. And plus, I am playing other things. You know, Monster Hunter, Street Fighter. I'm still on the Street Fighter kick, and
yeah.
so I'm not looking for something either. You know.
Yeah, between Monster Hunter and this game, there's a lot to juggle.
Yeah, it seems like.
Yeah, luckily I beat the quote unquote final monster in Monster Hunter. So now I'm just kind of getting my stuff together with making builds in that game.
What kind of builder are you going for right now?
So I'm using bow, and right now I'm trying to just make all the decorations to increase different elemental damage so I can start making elemental builds, because that's like a big investment, right? Because you want decorations that have fire attack, water attack, shock. Like you need those for everything, and then talismans are complete RNG. I swear, there's no point of even specifying what stat you want, because it just gives you random stuff. So you might as well just do the random talisman. But yeah, I think that's going to take a while. But focusing on, so if it's a fire bow that I'm using, it would be fire attack, and then using the Zenoga armor for latent power, critical boost, weakness exploit, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I have not gotten to that point yet. I'm still leveling up through high rank.
Yeah.
But I've been playing Hunting Horn, loving it. It's still my jam. I'm interested in the other weapons though, for sure. But Hunting Horn is just like, I don't know. It's quick, it's satisfying. I feel like I'm smacking a monster right in the face. Because I am. It's good.
I haven't gotten there yet, but I heard that the credits roll at a completely random time in this game.
They roll at the end of village quests.
Yeah.
So there's the story actually continues in the hub quest. So the credits roll for you've completed the village quest. Congratulations, you now know how to play Monster Hunter. And then it's not just the game continues in the hub quest, but there is actual story beats with cutscenes and all of that in the hub. So I think the reasoning for it is that maybe a lot of people don't reach that end part, like through going through the hub and defeating the final monster and stuff. So they wanted to kind of separate it in that way and give you the credits earlier.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Give you the satisfaction of, oh, I saw the credits roll.
They did that with World to a degree, only it was longer to get to it in World, right?
I think so.
I felt like there's a story arc in World. I don't get that feeling from Rise so much.
Yeah, not so much. It's
there's
more
definitely an
down.
arc. Dragons and they're talking, making babies.
True, yeah.
Making babies.
But with World, they paced it in a way where every time you went to a new land, it was opening up the story more and saying the reasons why you went to the desert or the smelly pit. You know, like it gave reasons or arc wise or story wise to go through it. Where in this, it's pretty much like new monster, go kill it. Hey, there's a monster, go kill it.
Pretty much.
Yeah, there's a rampage monster, go kill that thing. Like, all right, cool. Which I don't mind. I'm completely fine with that.
Yeah. Where have you got to with Rise, Briar?
I think I am 3 monsters deep or 4 monsters deep. I haven't put that much time into it yet. Honestly, I've been so addicted to playing Street Fighter V. Like, I'm sitting over here building arcade sticks. I'm ordering buttons for arcade sticks, and you know, like I'm swapping out switches inside the buttons, like Cherry MX Blues, Cherry MX Speed Silvers, Blacks. I'm getting Korean buttons, Korean levers, Japanese buttons, Japanese levers. I'm playing Street Fighter V. There's actually on my third monitor here, there's a Street Fighter V tutorial that's playing at 0.2. It's paused now, but it's playing at 0.25 speed, so I can learn the combos and like the button presses and the timings for characters. Like I'm like into learning Street Fighter V right now, and I'm immersed in it. Like
yeah, Briar's going to Evo.
Yeah, you going to Evo?
Excited.
I'm not even. So there's a ranking system in Street Fighter.
Uh-huh.
It starts off at rookie. That's basically you've never played Street Fighter V before. The next step up is it's like you get 500 points. It's like 66 points per win. You gain 66 points per win. You lose like 30 points per loss, right? You get to bronze at about 500 points. You get to super bronze at I think about 1,000 points. Ultra bronze 1,500 and silver is 2,000, right? I have flirted with silver, but never actually attained it. And I'm looking forward. My KD, like, so there's all sorts of stats. You can go into the game and look at your cumulative win-loss ratio, your last 100. My last 100 win-loss ratio is at 58% wins.
That's not bad.
But my cumulative is still below 50, right? So it's less than a 1.0 KD, so to speak. So it's like I'm getting better and I'm learning. But I'm learning like combos, like how to do big damage combos so that when I do get an opportunity to hit, like it hits hard. But I'm also learning like, wake up strategies and positioning, and there's a lot to learn. I haven't played Street Fighter since probably the last time I put like real time into a Street Fighter game was Alpha, which was in the 90s.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to play a lot of fighting games, and I used to really enjoy learning combos for all the different characters, but I don't have time anymore. They are a bigger grind than these looters. They really are. So to learn just one character efficiently and get to the point where you can pull off any combo anytime you need to, anytime you want to, it takes a long time. It's a big time investment.
Yeah, I think
it's really satisfying though, because when you pull those big combos off, and you take like 50% damage off of your enemy on a combo that you spent, 4 hours trying to figure out in training mode, like it feels really fucking good. You know?
You're like, I'm doing it. Oh boy, we're still going. I'm still doing it.
That's cool. Yeah, I think that's the reason why I haven't gotten back into it so much is because of the investment, the time. Like, it's practice. Like legitimate practice. You have to put in time and hours to get better at that. Like it's like learning a musical instrument. You got to just keep doing it to get better so the muscle memory kicks in. Because it really is like it's a flash of a moment. You see them do something. You got to have the muscle memory to react. Right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's fun. It's rewarding. But yeah, it's a huge time sink because like I think I spend 50% of my time in the training mode just trying to work on because it's not just the button presses that you have to get in order as well as like the motions on the stick, but you also have to learn the specific timing.
Right.
Yep.
And then once you can do it, let's say 80% of the time you attempt it, you might bring it into a match, but then the stress of the match might, for me, it makes me speed up all my timings, right? Is I get amped and like I do the buttons too fast, or I won't hit confirm properly, which means like the start of the combo needs something to hit so that the other player is stunned, and that allows me to safely go into the combo. Whereas if you just try and do a combo and the guy blocks, you're gonna get set up to get really fucked up right after you're done with that combo. Yep. So I don't know. It's just it's been fun, and it's something I haven't done in a long time. And I get to engage the gear slut part of my brain with the arcade sticks. And,
how's that going?
I love it. It's so much fun. it's so inexpensive compared to the other shit I've been wasting money on in the last year. Like buying little buttons, these things are cheap. They're like a couple of bucks, right? I mean, you only have to buy 8 of them at a time, and then the individual joysticks, you can try them out, and they're only like $20 a pop. And then like there's this one kit that I got called the Auto DIY, I think V5 or V2, where it just adds like Teflon parts to the standard Sanwa JLF stick, which is kind of like the standard fighting game stick, and it just makes it smoother and more responsive.
Have you noticed?
It's just fun to tinker with it.
Have you noticed a better experience with like the various parts with the arcade stick?
I think for me, I really like these new switches, these new buttons that have Cherry MX silvers, because they're very responsive and they feel very good. It's almost like a keyboard key. It's the same. It's the same switch inside a keyboard key. But I found that what was happening is probably because I'm so inexperienced and such a newbie, is that I was getting unintentional inputs. Like the bottom of my finger might be reaching for a punch, but accidentally hit a kick button.
Right.
So I decided to go with a harder switch to push down, the Cherry MX Black, which has 65 grams of resistance instead of 45 grams to try and reduce the number of times I accidentally hit a key I didn't intentionally mean to hit. But all that being said, it's all basically me just having fun, like just engaging that like nerd side of my brain and like opening this thing up. And I had the soldering iron out a couple of days ago, and I was soldering wires to the Switch because
that's when it's getting serious.
It's fun though. It's just
this is like a different.
I finally got
game.
my first COVID shot, and I'm so happy because I'm finally gonna be able to like go out and do normal stuff soon. But until then, you got to do something with your time. Building arcade sticks and having a little bit of fun.
I've always wanted to solder audio compressors, like 1176s and LA2As and all that, and I just have never done it. But I've come real close to buying the full kits and doing the full solder project. But
yeah. I started watching. Go ahead, Watts.
No, I was just gonna mention something that Eric's announced today, seeing as he can't be here on the show. He was doing an official collaboration with Capcom with Monster Hunter for his like clothing and accessory company that he has.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so they've made in a collaboration these little like pets that can kind of go on your wire. So when you plug in your phone, it looks like they're biting your phone. So you've got like Rathalos in there, you've got Palicos, and they sold out almost instantly.
Damn it! Do you think
maybe
we can get a hookup?
Maybe. But I just wanted to shout that out because that's so cool to have an officially licensed Monster Hunter figure that he has worked on. Yeah,
that is cool. Awesome. I love that idea too, having it bite your phone when you plug it in.
That's great. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, going back to the soldering thing, I started watching this guy Voltar, who's got a YouTube channel, and all he does is solder like old arcade stuff and old console stuff, and he does it on such like a micro level, and he's so skilled at it. But it's like anybody can do this stuff big, but when you start getting into that like little stuff, like on like boards and like trying to, it's like then you got to have a steady hand and probably a pretty big magnifying glass.
Absolutely, yeah.
But that's pretty interesting. Check out that Voltar YouTube channel. It's pretty interesting to watch him do that stuff. It's also good ASMR stuff.
Something chill in the background.
Get you some tingles.
Yeah,
brain tingles. I have actually gotten a few questions, and I got a question today on Twitter about Monster Hunter that a lot of people are wondering if Rise is a good intro to people who haven't played Monster Hunter before. And wondering if they should play the original and stuff like that. It's like, you don't need to play the originals. Don't do it. You don't need to. You're probably going to have a bad time, to be honest, because you don't have that nostalgia of initially playing the originals. In terms of tutorials and teaching you guys how to do stuff, do you think Rise has done a good job at introing you to Monster Hunter?
No, I think World was way better at that.
Yeah.
If a new player if somebody was like a Monster Hunter curious and they had access to a PS4 and a Switch, so that wasn't a concern, right? Then I would say, World is a way easier intro. I feel like it's a slower ramp, but a more interesting ramp. It's less text, but more like, here's how you do this. Here's why you do this. I just feel like it was the first Monster Hunter that I ever played that really kind of sold me on the whole flow of Monster Hunter. Whereas Switch, I almost feel like you already need to have some basics, or at least a friend who can help you out.
Yeah, I'd say the first couple hours, World definitely does a better job of getting you acquainted with again, they localize you to one area for a while, so you're not even like thinking about different areas. Like you're just thinking about this one jungle area, hunting some basic monsters in there. Also, the Fireflies I think are a lot more friendly for new people, because the Fireflies are like, here's where you got to go. That's it. Go there.
Yeah.
Whereas Rise, if I was a brand new player, I'd be like, where is this monster? And then it'd show a map, and I'd be like, what is this map? There's a bunch of stuff on there. And like, I don't know for sure which monster is which from the icons either, because they're stylized, like watercolor stylized, and which I actually really appreciate. But at the same time, if I was completely brand new to the franchise, I might be really confused about that and might take a lot of time with it. That being said, I think the village quests are a lot more friendlier for new players.
I think from what people have said, the village quests are the easiest quests that have ever been in a Monster Hunter game. So maybe in terms of difficulty, Rise is a bit more friendly because I know a lot of people hit Anjanath in World and they were just like blocked for a while.
Yeah.
I think what Rise does well, because I agree, I think World is a better introduction to how things work. In Monster Hunter, you get like a better grips quicker, but I think Rise did a good job of giving you a bunch of quests and a bunch of monsters to fight that aren't going to be super difficult for someone who's just starting out.
Yeah.
So maybe that's more, maybe that will get someone to play more if they're able to kick a bunch of monsters' ass for, the main campaign.
I also think the village and like the layout.
That's
of that
what I was
stuff,
going to say. The village is way easier to navigate.
Way easier.
Way easier.
Like you could.
I still am confused in World about where shit is in the village.
You could lose track of the blacksmith so easily in World until you've been there enough times and oh well, that's where the blacksmith is. Initially though, you go back in there, you're like, where was that blacksmith?
Yeah. It took me a while. I was like, oh, I have to go up there and I can actually take the lift to go up there. Okay, great. Now I understand what's going on.
Yeah, Rise did a good job of localizing everything on that front to make it easier. But it's true, you do get a crap load of information back to back to back to back. And
the text dump is epic in
Rise.
It's
in Rise, it's a text dump. Yeah, it's a big old text dump.
It's like, hey, Hunter, let me explain this little mechanic to you in fine detail.
Let me explain everything about this game.
Like, I just want to hunt a monster. I don't need to know about this little thing.
That's why I say if you're brand new, just go right to the training area and just start smacking stuff. Like, just start messing with the weapons.
That's probably not a bad idea.
Start getting the feel of things. And, like, you'll learn most of what you need to know just to do a basic hunt by going to the training area.
Yeah.
Because you don't, like we said before, you don't need to have flash pods with you. You don't need to have, bombs and all this stuff. You can just use your weapon. So, don't get drowned by the text.
When you want to figure something out too, it's like it's so easy now to it's a crutch, but it's so easy now to go to YouTube and just be like, how does this work? And there's going to be 100 videos. Click on the one with Eric's bald head on it, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, follow Eric's beard and bald head, and you'll be good to go.
Hopefully, he's got a thumbnail with his abs on it.
I will say though, Rise has been such a treat on the Switch. Like the Switch.
Yeah, it's awesome format. Yeah.
Like I really, really like it, and I definitely think I like it better than World at this point. With all the mechanics, like just wyvern riding alone changes up so much stuff, and then you got the Palamute to run around. You could still sharpen, do all your eating and all that while you're running to another monster. Like, there's so many nice things in Rise that just have made the experience that much better.
Yeah, the gameplay. Early on, I was like, I'm really enjoying this gameplay. I'm not gonna say I like it more than World yet, but then as I got more into it, I'm like, I unlocked more skills. I was like, yeah, this gameplay is very, very, very fun. More fun than World. There's parts that I love about World. I think this kind of story is probably one of them, where it takes you through the world and you get to know things a bit better. But the gameplay wise, Rise is just so good.
Yeah, there's
it's a bit of a shame the story. Yeah, there is, right? And I think I like the world and like the style of Rise better with like kind of the Japanese elf aesthetic. There's something very appealing to me about it. It's something that I like more than World, which I liked a lot. Like, don't get me wrong. So I would have loved to see like a real story and a real epic journey kind of to support this game as well, because I did like that about World. It did keep me going.
Yeah, it did a good job of presenting substance for why things were happening in the world, and like the mystery of the fact that like these lands were enchanted. I don't really get that in Rise. It's more like monsters are here, go kill them.
Although there was in World, there was the thing where it's like Nergigante is keeping the whole ecosystem in check. let's kill him. And I was like, wait, what?
Wait,
So
what?
you're saying the existence of this monster is keeping everything good, and let's go. Okay, well, sure. Yeah.
Let's
not?
murder him.
Very corporate America opinion of you.
He's like, well, it's keeping everything good, but it's a little spooky and dangerous, so maybe we just kill him.
Pretty angry. He's got them spikes.
Not so sure about this whole rainforest thing. Why don't we chop it down so we know what's up with it?
Yeah.
Oh, do we know the schedule yet? I know there's an update coming in April. It's going to bring bump up the HR rank, right?
It is going to bump up the HR rank. We have new monsters coming.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a pretty big update from what I'm seeing.
That's got me super interested to see where this game goes, because this, I think as a launch vanilla experience for Rise, I definitely feel like it's more contained and smaller than World. World felt pretty massive at launch. Like there was a lot of stuff to go through, and a lot of couldn't you raise your hunter rank already right away?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, like you had a lot more levels. Like it felt like there was more potential that you could do at vanilla launch on there. Where this one, I'm excited to see where they take that with the updates and expansion of it. Because I don't know how that's going to feel ultimately. I think that's the main thing about how the differences between World and Rise, where it's ultimately going to land up, is how does a 50, 100, 200 hour experience look like in comparison to World?
Yeah, it's going to take you 200 hours to get the right talisman you want. So
there you go. Yeah. Anything else from last week? Oh, did you play Naruto?
Naruto? No, not yet. It's on Game Pass.
Naruto boy.
I tell you, I've honestly been just so focused on Street Fighter. Like, I just haven't had time to do anything else. Like, I'm completely obsessed.
Addicted.
One character?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a Ryu main.
Classic.
Yeah.
I like to. There's a character named G who's kind of like this golden Abraham Lincoln. He calls himself the president of the world, and he's got a golden tattoo that moves. That's the globe that goes across his chest, and he wears the Abraham Lincoln stovepipe hat.
That's pretty ballin'.
He's kind of my second, but I Ryu is. He's easy for me because I've played him in other games, so it was easier for me to pick up. So I knew the basics. I know how to do a dragon punch. I know how to do a Hadouken and a spinning kick, and so like it was an easier place to start from. I think that's the genius of always having him in the game, right?
Sure.
It's like you always have some place to start from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd like to get to silver. I'd like to get to silver rank with Ryu, and then I'll probably start spreading my wings to other characters. Street Fighter 6 is right around the corner too.
You need a
It was
sensei.
supposed to come out this year. It's been delayed. I do.
Anybody on the podcast listening, a professional Street Fighter player that would like to mentor Briar?
Yeah, does anyone want to be Briar's sensei to teach all the ways of the Monster Hunter? Ideally, what rank are we looking for, Briar, in the minimum? What's the minimum rank that we need?
Trying to go platinum, Briar? What do you think?
Briar's looking for his sensei right now, I think.
I think his headphones died.
Headphones are off. All right. Well,
unfortunate timing on that one. He's still trying to fix his headphones.
Yeah. Well, send applications to @TheBriarRabbit on Twitter to do some training.
Submit
with
a
Briar
reel
for Street Fighter.
Maybe submit a mission statement. Submit why
screenshots of your rank, ideally. Maybe some gameplay footage.
Yeah, your KD as well.
Yeah.
Briar's still confused.
Sorry, I just lost you guys. I couldn't hear you. I switched over to a Bluetooth transmitter. So I've been doing wireless, but apparently my headphones were still connected to my phone, and I got a notification on my phone, and it totally took over control of the headphones. So you guys just went quiet.
Wow.
So I just scrambled to plug in my headphones.
That is
I lost about the last minute of what you said.
we were wondering what is the minimum rank of someone that you need to teach you?
Yeah, to
What
be
are
a
you looking
sensei.
for?
Well, there's gold, and then there's diamond, and then there's grandmaster, and then there's warlord. I feel like grandmaster. I mean, once you're a grandmaster, then you can teach, right?
Okay.
I think go
Grandmaster
for
and above.
warlord, man. You need a warlord to show you the
Yeah.
ropes.
Yeah, a warlord would be nice, but there's only like 100 of those in the world.
I'm
Oh.
sure one of them listens to this podcast.
Yeah, there's got to be at least
I have
one.
I think there's only 100 people who listen to this podcast.
Maybe it's all of the warlords. They're just
Yeah, they're all Street Fighter professionals.
They heard Briar talk about Street Fighter, and they're on it. They're on top of it. They're here.
I don't know if that Venn diagram is going to intersect.
Oh man. Well, is there anything else that happened this last week?
I don't think so.
What are we looking forward to in April?
At the end of April, Returnal comes out. Right?
Oh, Returnal does look good. Yeah.
Yeah, Returnal looks like a game that I will probably enjoy because I like those kind of games, and it's a third-person shooter, so it's got more of like the shooter aspect to it, mixed with the roguelike stuff that I like.
Initially,
So-
I was like, I don't know, it's kind of looking generic and bland, and then I saw that the stuff that they put out, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm down. I'm down for this.
Yeah, it looks interesting. I think it'll be a good time.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Do you want me to real quick go through the list of April releases?
Yeah, let's do
Is
it.
there major
All right.
ones?
What?
Major releases?
Naked releases? Major.
Make it,
yeah.
make it
Now,
really.
like those lists
Naked
will,
releases. Now we're talking.
those lists will could like contain a bunch of re-releases and like, oh, now this is on the Switch and like,
Yeah. So Outriders, obviously already. World of Demons for the iOS. Lost Worlds Beyond the Page. That's coming for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. I haven't heard of that. Oddworld Soulstorm is coming April 6th.
Oh,
which
that's
I've
in
always
April.
been like
That's tomorrow.
sort of Oddworld fan, but I've never actually like fully immersed myself. It'd be fun to play one of those, but it looks very traditionally like Abe's Odyssey.
It
Yeah.
does. Yeah.
So it looks like the old PlayStation, like with the modern graphics, but it looks like it plays like the old PlayStation 1 game. Before Your Eyes for PC, The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 4 for Switch and PC. Poison Control for PlayStation 4 and Switch. Ashwalkers. Saga Frontier Remastered. MLB The Show 21. This is interesting,
That's
Not
right.
because it's a
That's
baseball
what
game.
happened.
but because it's coming out for Xbox and it's a Sony produced game.
And it's on
Yeah.
Game Pass.
It's on Game Pass.
It's coming on
day
Game
one.
Pass.
Like,
yeah.
what? When I saw that, I was like, okay, what is happening?
This has to be something contractual with the MLB, right? It has to be.
You think?
Like
Phil Spencer went up to all the baseball bros and was like, money? And they're like,
Cash
like
money?
cash money? Like, no checks, only cash. Okay, you got a deal.
So traditionally there's been two MLB series. There's been the show and there's been the 2K one. But I don't think they're making the 2K one, which was the one that came out on Xbox platforms. So maybe MLB was just like, you got to make this for Xbox. Everybody needs an MLB game, obviously.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to hit home runs on Xbox? You're not.
Baseball back.
Yeah.
How are you going to field a grounder?
What's funny is I'm actually interested in this MLB. I haven't played a baseball game in a long time. And before they even said it was coming on Game Pass, I was like, maybe this is the year that I buy a baseball game. It's been so long.
Yeah.
I kind of want to play one. And then they said it's coming on Game Pass, and I was like, ask and ye shall receive.
Right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Tefty, I think we should play a match. A match of baseball.
Sounds good. We should.
I will take Briar's job as
you on the
baby
diamond.
photographer. You guys are the babies.
Yeah, it's been so long since I played a baseball game, but like I'm actually interested in this one.
The show has always been a good baseball game too. It's always been
Yeah.
the better of the two baseball games. And baseball games are just good chill games. Like you just
It's like going to an actual
It's
baseball
like
game.
going to baseball. You get drunk
Chilling.
and you eat hot dogs. Like, that's what you
Every
do.
now and then something happens. You're like, oh, all right.
A thing happens. You're like, whoa, everyone's excited. You're like, wait, people are screaming. Woo, exciting.
yeah,
And
the
then
wave
you keep getting
happens.
drunk.
You do the wave, you know? Yeah.
Try not to get hit by a
Baseball-
foul ball.
Man, going to a baseball game is like the best place to go with buds because you can talk, you can hang out, you can drink, you can eat, and there's like some entertainment in the background happening.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's super low pressure.
I agree with
It's
you
great.
wholeheartedly. It is a
I
really
love
fun
baseball.
thing to do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's super American.
Especially when you get them fancy tickets and you get to go to the fancy room away from
Right? And they
the
got like
common folk, of course.
yeah, that is nice.
They also have like actual
They got like a
hard liquor up
buffet and
there.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
they got
that's
Briar
Yeah,
Barbecue up
cocktails.
there.
Amazing.
hey. Tell your mysterious trilogy deluxe pack is coming.
Okay.
Judgment. This sounds familiar, but maybe that's because there's like 18 games with Judgment in the
So many
subtitle.
judgments.
Near replicant version 1.22474487139.
Yeah. When is this?
This is coming April 23rd. This one's
Here.
a remaster of Nier, which is the game before Nier Automata, which I mean,
Is it just a remaster?
Hugely
Or are they
popular
doing
game.
like adjustments to it.
they're doing adjustments to it too, I believe.
Yeah.
It's like a remaster kind of thing.
Because if they remake something and they, like the whole story stuff, like Nier Automata, like all the variations of endings and the things that change, it was you didn't truly play the game if you got credits,
Yeah, you had to like finish the game 18 times or some shit.
Yeah.
I didn't play. I started it. I didn't stick with me. Everybody yells at me for that. Oh, you gotta get past that first 10 hours.
I think it's an acquired taste, definitely. It's not for everyone.
Total War Rome Remastered is coming to the PC April 29th. New Pokemon Snap is coming to the Switch April 30th.
That's right. Pokemon Snap.
I can finally collect the sand dick.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm gonna
I
snipe
think we
so many
do
Pokemon.
We need a Pokemon Snap Tefty stream. It'll be like
Pretty
it'll be
good.
big coaster energy. I think.
I think it would be. I would watch that for sure.
I would definitely watch that.
R-Type Final 2. It's kind of an interesting release. It's R-Type, but it's a new R-Type. Returnal, April 30th. And Terminator Resistance Enhanced is coming out April 30th.
That's a Briar game.
Which, yeah, I'll basically buy anything with the name Terminator in it. So why not this?
Hell yeah. Yeah, I think Returnal, Nier, and MLB The Show are actually, which is surprising that MLB The Show is one of the games that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good amount of
And
games
then-
still coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Resident Evil Village is coming out May 7th,
Oh,
which is just around the
that's
corner.
That
the
is
one.
yeah, that is very close.
That is the
Ooh.
one I can't wait.
Yeah.
It's close.
And then Mass Effect Legendary Edition, May 14th.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mass Effect. I'll be excited to play that, but
When does Scarlet Nexus come out? Is that on the list anywhere? I forgot the date. Let me look it up.
I'm not seeing it in the next few months. Oh, and Mario Golf is coming out in June.
Oh, it just says 2021 at the moment.
Mario Golf. Oh my god. Prepare.
I'm really looking forward to Scarlet Nexus. I'm excited about it.
Cool.
Is that an anime game?
It's right up your alley, Briar.
Yeah. I am pretty much an anime expert now.
You've trained for this, Briar.
You have. They said that it will be released in summer 2021, so June, July, or August is when we'll be looking at.
Gotcha.
I feel like every game has the all likelihood of being delayed this year, right? Like every
Sure.
game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lots of games still coming out.
Lots
And I'm
of
still
things.
going to be playing the games that I'm currently playing when the new games come out, probably.
Same.
Yeah.
These are big games. Big, long, grindy games.
Yeah, with the updates for Rise. I don't know what the post-launch schedule is for Outriders. I'm sure there's something, but it's gonna have like.
Haven't they already announced the DLC for it?
They probably did. I haven't paid attention to it. I didn't really pay attention to the DLC because I wasn't sure if it was gonna hook me in the long term. You know, like once I complete the story stuff and make a build, like would I be interested further after that? And it's looking like I most likely will be. So I should probably take a look what they got coming.
Let's see. They said there was an interview about it, and they said future DLC will be significant expansions with dedicated stories or self-contained
cool.
stories, is what they said.
I love that kind of stuff. I love single player DLC because you see so little of it these days. What I had seen was the Hell's Rangers content pack, which is $7 on Steam, but it looks like it's skins and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's not a DLC. It's a
So it kind of seems like, so the quote is, "This isn't a games as a service, but if people like it, we'll definitely do more things in the Outriders
we
universe.
will service you."
We have so many stories to tell and lots of ideas we want to explore that we couldn't fit into the original game, so we'd be happy to create more content in the future.
Cool.
Well,
We
based on the
do
numbers.
like money, I guess.
Yeah, it's like, you like it? All right, guess we'll go. Start making
Yeah.
it. Let's get it going.
You know, they really kind of launched at the perfect time because there isn't
Yeah.
really anything aside from Destiny that's in that same space. You know, and I mean Destiny's not the
Not
same,
that's
but
active.
like, yeah. So good on them. If they launched this back or in like a November window, then I think it would have been a lot
We
more
would have
difficult.
gotten eaten up.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, isn't that crazy that this game could have launched during another period and no one would have picked it up and it would have died. Whereas compared to now, it's hugely popular, crazy concurrent numbers, and everyone's loving it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Timing's
scary.
Well, that's that. Anytime anybody says something like that, it always makes me think of Titanfall. Like Titanfall 1 and 2 both came out like during peak times. It got totally swallowed up. Titanfall 2, I think, is still one of the best games of the generation for last gen.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you haven't played Titanfall 2's campaign, you've missed out. It's
great
that
campaign.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
BT.
And now you can probably get it for like $7.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Game Pass. It's on Game Pass Ultimate.
Is it on Game Pass?
Yeah, well, all EA is on there, right? So I'm pretty sure Titanfall 2 is on there.
Probably.
Yeah.
I would assume so.
I might play through it again. Is it on PC? Because that'd be actually really fun to play it through on PC.
Don't know if it's on PC. Yeah. Is that the episode? Is that SideQuest number 88?
I think that's about it.
I can stop talking now.
You got
If
practice.
you request
gotta,
me to shut up, I suppose I could.
Briar has a very strict regimen of arcade stick practice that he's got to do right now. So he's got another 4 hours left today before he's done.
Since
These
it's calling.
combos aren't going to learn themselves.
Awesome.
I got 2 boxes with arcade parts in the mail today, so I am looking forward to opening them up.
And that's where you can find Briar.
That's right. Well, that's where can people find you?
Find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Just look for Miss 5000 Watts. I think today I'm going to be doing just Outriders, seeing as I've been cut off by servers for the rest of my time. So I'm excited. Don't turn the servers off. Okay, keep them on.
Yeah, keep them healthy.
Stable. You know, I'm going to say the game was great before they let everyone in.
Right?
It ran well. It was perfect.
I had the exact same experience. I was like, "This is awesome." The
I
next
was like,
day,
day one, this is
"Ooh."
awesome. Whew, great. And then they opened the gate, and now it's
We need box seats for Outriders, just like it's MLB shows.
just like baseball. Yeah, let me into the cocktail lounge of your servers, please.
There you go. Briar, where can people find you doing your arcade stuff?
Watts nailed it. I'm sure I'll be posting stuff on Twitter, but yeah, I'll be placing buttons and switches and playing Street Fighter. And I might stream some Street Fighter just for fun and to hang out with the community a little bit.
That'd be fun.
That's
Maybe you
cool.
could find your sensei that way.
Yeah, your sensei.
I think I have less chance once they see me play. Like, oh,
Or
I'm
they
sorry,
look at
you're
it.
beyond learning.
They look at it as even a better challenge.
This is how they'll make their name in the Street Fighter teaching business.
Oh, I
I
guess
want Briar to be platinum.
I bought a comic book for the first time in, I don't know,
That looks awesome.
30 years possibly. It's Street Fighter versus Darkstalkers,
Cool.
Volume 1.
Wow.
I thought that was kind of neat.
That is cool.
It is
They're
cool.
making
I
Street
like it.
Fighter comic books still.
I recently found some comic
one.
books in my garage that I've had for like years.
Yeah.
Some X-Men, there was this one called The Pit. Yeah.
The Pit. That
The
sounds
Pit. Yeah.
dark and dangerous.
It was.
Was it like a
I'm a giant monster, dude.
yeah? Was it dark and gritty?
Yeah, I think it was. I don't fully remember all
Yeah.
the details. But yeah.
I remember comic books went through a phase where everything was dark and gritty.
Yeah.
Like, what? We don't like fun anymore?
did.
What happened?
No colors, no
Gotta
fun.
be edgy. I'm Tefty Teft. You can find me looking at those old comic books at my place on Twitter at Teft. Also, I will be streaming some Outriders this week and some Monster Hunter. I'm still figuring out schedule stuff though. So there's that. And yeah, looking forward to more podcasting. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much to our Twitch subs who are subbing live when we do this. And also shout out to our Patreon members that support the shows here at DCP. We do appreciate all of it. So
Thank you so much, everybody.
thank you guys. We'll see you next time.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.